Recording live from the Northeast Georgia Business RadioX studio, this is Northeast Georgia Business Radio presented by Regions Bank. Start building your financial confidence at Regions Bank. Member FDIC, an equal housing member. Welcome back, folks, to another exciting edition of Northeast Georgia Business Radio. I'm your host, Tom Sheldon, and we're coming to you live from the beautiful Empower College and Career Center of Jackson County. I have with me today a travel advisor. Sounds exciting because we all know I love to go to Mexico once in a while. But with me today from Better Travel Planning, I have Lisa Lewis with me today. Lisa, welcome to the Northeast Studio.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
How are you?
I'm great. Looking forward to Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving? Are you staying here or are you traveling?
No, actually, I just came back from a trip, so I will be staying here.
In all seriousness, how much do you travel? You travel a lot, do you not?
I try to travel as much as I can.
Yeah.
Not nearly enough, though.
Oh, okay. Well, what's not nearly enough?
If it were up to me, I would travel once a month.
Okay.
But I'm not quite there yet.
Not quite. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
See, to me, that's a ton.
Yeah. Well.
That's a ton. I'm a home person. I have a great home. I love it.
And that makes sense. I think that different people have different tolerances for travel.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, after like 3 days. I love long weekends.
I understand.
You know?
Common. My husband is similar. So.
Yeah. You know, anywhere, well, the Southeast, we're blessed to be in the Southeast in general, right? And I go to Cancun a couple times a year. That's like the Southeast.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You know, stuff like that. But long weekends, because I got to get back home.
Georgia's a great place to be able to do that.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
You've got Florida, Alabama, the Carolinas,
Well, we don't have to talk about Alabama, but I'm sorry. It's in me. Well, hey.
Lots to do, though. Lots to do.
Absolutely. What is the ideal? What is the go-to trip for you, seriously?
Well, at this point, it's kind of hard to say because the most travel that I have done has been cruising because that's one of the things that my husband really enjoys.
He loves that.
He absolutely does,
Cool.
yes. And there's a lot of reasons why. Personally, I'm ready to kind of shift into what we call FIT travel, which is fully independent travel.
Okay. That's a thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Think of it as, I want to go to Switzerland and I want to go to different cities in Switzerland and design my own independent trip. Moving in that direction.
Now, you do all that.
Yes.
For yourself and others.
Yes.
So it's just that easy. Get a passport and go.
After you talk to your travel advisor.
Well, of course. What makes it easier with you?
Because I'm the one who does all the work. It's a great thing that we live during a time where people have a lot of options.
Oh, yeah.
You can absolutely go onto the internet and you can click a few buttons and you can book your own travel. And I think that there are instances where that is appropriate. At the same time, my passion as a travel advisor, what I do is I am the person who takes care of the details and does all that work. But I also bring the piece where I know what you don't know.
Right.
In fact, I recently had a client who reached out to me and said, I'm so glad I'm working with you. She's like, you are thinking about things that I never thought of, and they really made a huge difference in our trip, which was really so gratifying to me. Mm-hmm. That was part of the puzzle as to why I started to do this in the first place.
Right.
In my opinion, the best advantage for working with a travel advisor is that they're the ones who are going to take care of the details for you. They're looking out for your best interests as an individual. I work for my clients. I don't work for the vendors that I book their vacations for. I work for them.
Is there a difference? I guess that must be a thing. There's some that do.
Well, sure.
I never thought of that.
Well, so look at it this way. Let's say you decide you want to go to Disney World.
Okay.
And you go online and you buy your hotel room and you get your tickets. I mean, it's over as far as Disney World is concerned. It's up to you to use whatever resources they provide to plan your trip, to think about the different investments that are available to you to make because there's a wide array of choices. It's up to you to decide which hotel do I want. It's not just about price point. It's also about what are the amenities that are offered? What are the experiences going to be offered? These are the kinds of things that a travel advisor can help you navigate. Is it worth it to save $100 just because I'm saving $100? Or do I want to make an additional $100 investment and have a completely different vacation experience? Today, at any point in time, all of us work hard for our money. And when we travel, yes, the amount of money that we spend is important, but what is even more important than that is the memories that we come home with. Nobody comes home and says, I'm so glad I saved that $100, right? What they do is they come home and they say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I stayed in that particular resort because I walked out of my room and the beach was right in front of me and I could go directly to my lounger and I had someone bringing me my beverage. Or I went to Disney World and my travel advisor showed me how to make the most use of my time because I felt like I was spending so much money. So it's that kind of different experience. The vendor, any cruise line, I mean, they're essentially taking orders. They can do a lot for you, but it's not their job to act as an advisor.
Right.
So that's
they're an order taker.
They are, yes.
I try not to mean that in a harsh way.
No, I think
that's their job.
That is their job. It is appropriate. I do think that there are people where that is what they're looking for and that works for them. I say more power to them. I don't have an issue with that. I understand that I provide a service, that I am working with a very specific client, someone who appreciates and wants to use the services that I do provide. I have no issue with that.
You're doing research.
I'm doing the research.
A lot of research.
Yes, the research and then, yes, also the work. And I'm available to my clients from the time that they reach out to me before they actually book. So I'm doing work before I even get paid. Then, of course, they take their trip, but also on the back end to come home and make sure that everything that they expected out of their trip actually happened. And if not, how can we make that not happen again? As well as planning for future travel, advising them in terms of if you would like to travel again, what would you like to be different? So it's definitely a full circle experience.
Makes sense. How'd you get into all this?
So
have you always been a traveler at heart?
I think so, yes. I did a lot of travel during my college years that I really enjoyed. It's kind of funny. I definitely fell into being a travel advisor. My interests in life, I've always been very interested in history. I've always enjoyed history, even in college. My language in college was actually Japanese language, and I lived in Japan for a year.
How about that?
Living in another culture for a period of a year really taught me a lot, and I definitely think really sparked my interest in travel, made me want to explore other countries, explore other cultures. It was just something that I really, really enjoyed. And I used my time after college to travel as much as I could. I got married, I had children. Long story short, we made the choice to homeschool our children. At that point in time, I stopped working full-time and became a full-time mom and a homeschool mom. And of course, part of being a homeschool mom, there's definitely a lot of research involved, and I was teaching my children geography and history. And so there was a lot of information that came to me through that time period, as well as the ability to research, and you learn to use resources. As my youngest child was coming to the end of her high school career, I began to think about, what I wanted to do when she was going to graduate from high school. I had 4 children and 3 of them had already graduated, so it was just her at that point. I had a lot more time. Our family went to Disney World on a regular basis for vacation. And a friend of mine had a travel agency that focused primarily on Disney. And she was like, hey, if you want to come on board with me, you could work with other families, help them plan their trips to Disney, earn a little extra money. And I thought, that's a really great fit. Why don't I do that? I was already advising people about their trips to Disney because we had been so many times. So I came on board with her agency in 2017. And that was a really good fit. This was in February, and of course I thought, great, I'll take the next 2 years to explore this and see where it goes. Unfortunately, in that spring of 2017, my youngest daughter was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Obviously, that really became my priority.
Of course.
I continued to work as a travel agent. I continued to book trips for people. I was not actively building my business or actively promoting my business because I was involved in caring for my daughter.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my daughter passed away in the summer of 2022. It's been a difficult journey. I won't deny that. I am very thankful for the friends and family who not only were with us all through that journey, as well as the resources through Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and another organization that I very heartily support called Cure Childhood Cancer. We just navigated our way through. As time went on, suddenly my husband and I were empty nesters, and it definitely became a question of, what do I want to do with my time? Do I want to go get a job? And again, I chose to invest full-time in my business as a travel advisor.
Right.
Part of the reason that I made that decision was my daughter. Because she was my youngest, we were able to travel quite a bit together. And she loved the trips that we took. She was always a very active participant. One of her dreams was definitely to travel. Her Make-A-Wish trip that she had chosen was a travel trip. We went to Maui, Hawaii through the Make-A-Wish organization.
Very
Again,
nice.
Great, a lot of great things to say about Make-A-Wish.
Oh, yeah.
This was a hard break in our family. What do I want to do with my future? I made the choice to go for it. Let's build a business. Grace would be proud. I could definitely kind of hear her standing next to me saying, you can do this, Mom. And then the other part of that was just the memories that were made from travel. Having lost someone, obviously someone so significant in my life. The memories that we made from traveling together are incredibly precious to me. I feel more than ever life is short, and while that may sound cliche, it is.
You only get one.
You only get one. And traveling offers a way for people to build relationships and connect over a space of time as opposed to let's go out to dinner or, let's come together for Christmas or a party. It's an engaging experience that connects people in ways that can't be done in any other opportunity.
Right.
That's something that really spoke to me and still excites me, and is the reason that I am working to build my business. I chose better travel planning because I saw how many mistakes sometimes people can make traveling, me included, and wanted a way to offer people an opportunity to not only maximize their investment dollar, but maximize their time. And I feel like I'm really good at what I do.
Nice.
So that's kind of how I got started and where I'm going.
Lisa, we're going to take a real quick break, get in a community partner, and folks, we will be right back. The Barrow County Chamber of Commerce. Hey, it's the perfect place for business. 75 years of working with businesses, educational associates, municipal and county leaders has made the Barrow Chamber the go-to place. Through its Workforce Development Committee, the Barrow Chamber partners with education to deliver a work-ready employee. Barrow Chamber also connects businesswomen for meaningful dialogue, learning opportunities, and support with its Women in Business Committee. Whether you want to find a business, grow a business, or lead a business, the Barrow Chamber is ground zero for the place to start. They also have some monthly functions, business, government, education, bringing it all together at one time. So hey, visit barrowchamber.com today. And also, don't forget to check out our website, negabrx.com, for all our great community partners. Lisa, you still there?
I am here.
Good deal. Didn't run off on me.
Nope, ready to go.
Awesome. What were we talking about? We were talking about traveling.
Yes.
Your husband loves cruises.
My husband loves cruises, yes.
Pub crawls, which you can line up.
I can do that, yeah.
Then that's a marketing strategy.
Yes, it probably would be.
That's a marketing strategy.
I won't lay claim to having expertise there, but
You don't have to.
obviously, whether it's wine or it's pub crawling or it's food, those are definitely market niches for travel.
Absolutely
Yes.
they are.
Yes.
Do you do anything like that?
At this point in time, I really haven't jumped into that type of travel. Most of the travel that I focus on is multi-generational travel or family travel.
Multi-generational what?
Grandparents,
okay.
parents, kids.
The family tree.
Family trips, yes.
Okay.
I really enjoy bringing families together. So that has been the bulk of my business up until this point.
Nice.
And that's where I tend to probably focus a lot of my information. I enjoy it, as well as that's where I have a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Those trips, those family trips, and I've done honeymoons, I've done couples trips, so it's not like I'm exclusive to a variety of different locations. I have done a lot of cruising. One of the areas that I'm really starting to expand my business into is river cruising to Europe.
Okay.
And so I'm a certified Viking expert as well as AMA Waterways. So I've done all of their training and have clients taking those trips, and it's really exciting to be working in an area where that was part of our homeschooling. Like we, learned all the rivers in Europe and all the cities in Europe and all the history. And now I'm booking travel there. I love that. I really do. But obviously ocean cruising, we live in Georgia. Sailing out of Florida is very easy for people that live in this area. I have a lot of clients that live in Georgia. I do have clients spread all over Colorado and Virginia. And so it's not like I exclusively work with people in Georgia. But cruising is definitely a big part of my business. I have done a lot of, like I said, fully independent trips, whether it's a trip to Italy, where you're flying into Rome and visiting different cities.
Mm-hmm. Well, now I've got to ask, is there a big difference between a river cruise and out on the ocean?
Oh, there's a huge difference.
Is there?
Absolutely.
I honestly don't know.
So think of it this way. Ocean cruising, That ship takes you to a country.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to get on in Fort Lauderdale and you're going to sail down to Nassau,
Sure.
get off in Nassau, etc., whatever your itinerary is.
Right.
In river cruising, that river cruise takes you through countries.
Okay.
You are on the river. It is a completely different pace, and you are cruising through a country in a way that has been done for hundreds of years.
Right.
Okay. And you are seeing the landscape along the way. You're experiencing a trip that people have done for centuries.
Sure.
And going to different cities throughout that time period. River cruising also includes your excursions as part of your fare.
Okay.
Whereas on an ocean cruise, you're going to book your cruise, and then whatever countries you're traveling to, whatever ports you're stopping in, you're going to make an additional investment for any excursions that you want to take or not take.
Okay.
With river cruising, that's included in your fare.
They expect you to do it on a river cruise.
I
It's
think-
part of the deal. I mean, it's
Yes.
part of the experience.
Part of the experience,
Yeah.
part of the attraction, yes.
Yeah.
And different cruise lines offer different experiences. There are some cruise lines where you can choose. I want to have a very active excursion. I want something, I have a disability. I can't walk all over the place. Then there's a choice for you. It
Or
depends
maybe
on
you just don't want to.
Or maybe you just don't want to. Yeah.
Serious.
Yes. Well, it's always an option for someone
Yeah.
to get off the boat and find the nearest cafe and sit and watch the world go by.
I'd be good with that.
Yeah, most people are, right? Especially in France.
Yeah, I'd be great with that.
Or along the Danube. But again, most people in our country are very familiar with Viking because they advertise so heavily.
Oh yeah, huge marketing.
Correct. And they are a wonderful experience, a wonderful cruise line. But there are other options that potentially are better suited. And so one of the things that I really enjoy is making sure my clients are taking the cruise that suits them. For
Gotcha.
someone who wants to be able to choose their excursions and they want something very active or immersive, Viking might not be the best choice. Something like Ama Waterways might be better.
Viking very laid back compared to the others.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't,
Okay.
but they're just different. They offer a different experience.
I got you.
Their excursions tend to be. I think one of their taglines is "We're the thinking man's cruise" or "Cruise in comfort," that kind of thing. And they are very focused on an experience that is educational. There are some people who maybe want to do a river cruise and hike a mountain. That's a much more active type of activity.
I would just say that's ambitious.
Ambitious, yeah. River cruising has really changed. Another thing about Viking is they're 18 years and up. If you're under the age of 18, you can't sail on Viking.
Right.
So there are other, like Ama Waterways. I know I keep bringing them up, and Avalon is another option. You can take your family.
Gotcha.
So it can be multi-generational. Again, I think that this is the advantage of contacting a travel advisor is you want to make sure that your travel investment dollar is bringing you the experience that you want, that you're not just taking in a company's marketing and assuming that you're going to have the experience you
Right.
really want to have.
Right. Before you put your money down.
Absolutely. Yes.
What's trending these days?
Interestingly enough, one of the biggest trends in travel is sustainability. Sustainability, yes.
I have no idea what that means.
Well, so we want to make sure that we are being good stewards of resources.
Sure.
Energy consumption is one of them. Most people probably are not aware of the fact that virtually every ocean liner out there is actually an extremely energy efficient operation.
Right.
They are extremely conscious of sustainability efforts in every arena, whether it's water, energy, food, things like that. The industry as a whole is definitely trending towards higher sustainability standards and activities across the board, whether that is on a cruise, whether it is on a hotel, whether it's an all-inclusive resort, which I do a lot of all-inclusive resort vacations.
I'm a fan of all-inclusive.
As am I, yes. Show up and just have a great time. All of those things are moving in that direction. And so that is definitely an arena that I am learning more about. Another trend in travel is expedition travel. There's a lot of people who are wanting to do trips to Antarctica.
Oh, wow.
Or the Galapagos Islands, or Asia, Cambodia, places like that, more what we would consider to be expedition. And so that is an area of travel that is rapidly growing.
Cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. The opportunities are really amazing. There's a wide array that gives people a lot of choices when they think about, this is a big planet. Where do I want to go and what do I want to do? There are people who want to travel locally and domestically. On occasion, I book vacations for clients that travel domestically. There's certainly a lot to see in our own country, but outside of that, obviously, it gets a little more daunting to try to plan something like that on your own. So most of my travel is international, but the opportunities are really out there to plan your dream trip.
How far in advance should someone book? If someone's, well, we're not supposed to date a podcast. We are approaching Black Friday, even though Black Friday now lasts for like a month.
Yeah, right.
Quite honestly. Hey, I can go here for $5,000. That's a 40% discount. Book it.
That's a great question.
Is that a bad idea? I know someone who did that. Is that a bad idea?
I don't want to say that it's a bad idea.
Maybe not the best.
I don't know that if it would be the wisest idea, unless you've done a lot of research. So maybe you've already been talking to a travel advisor about this for 6 months, and you know exactly what you want to do and where you want to go, and you're just waiting for a deal. Okay, yes, let's work together and book it. To see a Black Friday deal come up today and pounce on it just because of the price, I don't find that to be better travel. First of all, the fine print is enough to really send you into next week.
Who reads that?
Yeah, well, I do. I do that.
That's why we have you.
And so, I'm not a huge fan of Black Friday for travel because it tends to be a marketing ploy. Sometimes people get better deals, sometimes they don't. I think a minimum of 6 months in advance of your desired travel is ideal, sometimes as much as a year. I understand that sometimes people hesitate to plan a year in advance, and this is, again, where a travel advisor comes in handy because you want to find out the ins and outs. What am I looking at in terms of getting my money back or insuring my travel? I don't want to lose however much money. So those are the kinds of things that I help people navigate.
Are you a big insurance fan?
1,000% I am.
I am
I'm
too.
sorry. I know I hate it too. I insure all my trips. Unfortunately, so this is the part of being in the industry, right? You hear all the terrible things that can happen.
Yeah.
You hear about the people who are like,
well,
oh my
you hear
gosh.
about that before you hear about the good.
Well, yeah. And I mean, yes, of course it's rare. And, I hate paying for something I'm not going to use.
I hope you don't.
Exactly. The point is that if you need to use it, it's there.
Right.
The stories of people, oh gosh, I fell down the stairs on the ship and I broke my leg. And guess what? I had to be like hella-flighted out of there. Mm-hmm. Oh, gee, that wasn't part of my cruise contract. And, I had to pay for it. So yes, of course, travel insurance, in my opinion, is imperative.
And your health insurance here in the States does not cover you.
Well, okay, it depends. Some things it may, some things it may not.
Okay.
Typically, hella-flighting isn't one of them.
Right. No, it's not.
So, and I understand from a consumer perspective, it's challenging, right? Your credit cards may offer you coverage for certain things.
Sure.
But let's face it, the vast majority of people are not reading through the terms and conditions. Okay, they're clicking accept and they're moving on. And look, I'm just as guilty. I'm not saying that I never do that. However, when I am selling a product to a client because I am working for my client, I'm at least familiar with the broad strokes.
Yeah.
I may not know every single detail, but I'm certainly in a position to give them good information so that they can make a decision that's in their best interests.
We got a website?
Yes, bettertravelplanning.com.
Bettertravelplanning.com. Mm-hmm. All one long word.
Yep. It is long.
Social media? It's got to be social media.
Yeah. I'm definitely on Facebook. I have a Facebook page that is Better Travel with Lisa. Definitely come and follow that.
And you're a little bit on LinkedIn.
I am also on LinkedIn. I have a private Facebook group.
Oh, you do? I did not know this.
Yes. It's travel and vacation help.
Nice.
For families, cruisers, Europe, Caribbean, and more.
Perfect.
And that private group, you can ask to join. And I use that as a way to educate and inform the members, give people an opportunity to share their travel, ask questions. But yes, it's my private Facebook group, so you can become a part of my community.
Very nice.
My email is also easy. It's my name, Lisa@bettertravelplanning.com.
Well, Lisa, if we got it all in, that's a lot of good information.
Thank you.
Now I know the difference between a river and an ocean cruise. I had no idea. Very cool.
Yes. River cruising is also growing in popularity, and a lot of those cruise lines are adding to their offerings.
Nice.
Yeah, and there's a big expansion, especially in Asia. I mean, you can cruise the Nile, too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, now. Lisa, thank you so much for coming in today.
My pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
Awesome. They're going to play my music any second. Oh, there it goes. Now I got to wrap up. Folks, Lisa Lewis, Better Travel Planning. Go cruise the Nile, one of those river cruises, something cool. It's just not your everyday stuck on a boat for 10 days. I'm Tom Sheldon. We'll talk to you soon.
Savings goals keeping you up at night? Let a Regions banker help you build a Regions Green Print plan, a free financial roadmap personalized for what matters to you. Start building your financial confidence. Visit Regions.com to find a branch near you. Regions Bank, member FDIC.